But the fact it remains that my brother, biological brother, will remain my brother in this life. No matter what I do or think, I may be legally disowned or something like that, but my brother will remain my brother, whether we have a relationship or not. That doesn't matter. Means we either maintain the relationships or not. That doesn't matter. The tag that my brother shall remain, the family name and other things, my parents will say. So these aspects, it's all known. I'm not saying anything new. You all know whatever it is. But now what we try to understand that what are the implications? What is the purpose of these relationships altogether, and why those relationships are not same? We have a different relationships and different types of experiences. Suppose, as for example, I may have 10 friends. We develop a relationship, friends, we develop friends, and out of 10 friends, I have 10 different types of experiences of dealing with them, right? It is all our normal life experiences. And they are different, even though its relationship is similar, like friendship. Same like our other relatives. Some of the relatives we have a very good relationships, good understandings, and some of the relatives we don't have at all the good experiences. We try to get rid of that relationships, but we could not sometime because we have to accept certain things. Anyway, so now let me come back to that how the relationships are developed. Why we need to be related to someone. And there are plenty, maybe millions of people we may never meet in our life. There is no relationship is possible, and no relationship is happened, and that is also there. There are millions of people on this planet Earth. We don't have relationship with everyone. We have only few of them we can meet in our lifetime. Some have a longer linear relationships, some have shorter relationships, and so on. Anyway. So now let me give you that how the relationships were created to start with. From where? Who creates the relationship? Who decide to whom we should, meet and to whom we should start a relationship? So it can be a close relationship, like as husband, wife, or very close, or maybe friend, or maybe some relative, like distant relative also, that relationships to whom we should meet, to whom we will not, and all those kind of things. Now the decision of to meet with someone, and now I'm talking in the spiritual terms, that it is always, there is no exception. There is no accidents or coincidences in life in the spiritual level. Everything to whom we meet and what is the purpose of that meeting, that is already decided by our soul at the soul level. So both parties of the concerned, my soul and the other party's soul, they agreed that in this lifetime, there are a lot of lifetimes. We have, as I mentioned, we have already 700 plus human lives. So definitely there may be some past lives also, but in this life to whom we'll meet, it is already decided by our soul before we take birth. And for major ones, like I'm not talking that casually we meet somebody in the flight, or I'm not talking about them. I'm talking that if we have some relationship in this, it is almost certain that it is pre-planned by our soul, and that's how we come together. The situations were created so that we can meet with each other. And there is a purpose, always there is a purpose of that. Most of the time, the purpose is to settle the previous karma, the past life's karma. It is, we have to meet to get those karmic account closed. So whether it is a good karma, bad karma, those levelings are not important, but any karmic account, if it is not settled earlier, then this is the lifetime has been given so that we can meet and we can settle that. It is often quite seen that if the purpose of that, if it is done, suppose I, borrowed from some money from someone I didn't return in some previous lifetime. So again, we'll meet in this lifetime. Something or other, I will donate or pay some amount of money, not necessarily same amount. It can be equivalent of that time and era. What was the equivalent amount I pay because of any reason? And if that karma is settled, and then automatically I will see that relationship. No, there is no need. Automatically, people separate it out and go and things like that. So it was no longer needed. That means the purpose is served. So in general, most of the relationships, the root is karmic. Root is karmic because of the previous karma and all those things happen. Only one type of thing, it doesn't happen in the soul level. If some karma we have done this lifetime, then the same lifetime there is a possibility you have to meet and again we have to settle it. So that may not be pre-planned before we take birth. That is also possible. But most of the things, close relatives, particularly what we don't have any choice. Those relatives are decided by the soul. But at the soul level, once we take birth, then we don't have a choice. And listen this part carefully. Once we have taken birth, we have no choice over who will be our parent, which family will belong to, who will be their surname, what is their economic status, what is their social status, and all those things. We have no choice. We have to just accept it. Their religion, we have to just accept. We have no choice. But this is no choice in the incarnation level after we take birth. But we have a full choice at the soul level. And soul has a full right even to decide who will be our parents in this lifetime, which is forthcoming lifetime, who will be our parents, which country they will belong, which caste they will belong, which will be the status of, social status, their education levels and their economic conditions. All those things are this, our soul can choose. Basically, our soul can choose the parents. Yeah. So it is just the other way around. When we take birth, we think that we don't have any choice. At the soul level, we have a full choice. So, and similar thing happens to our siblings, brothers and sisters. At the soul level, we choose between their, soul and our soul. We choose. Also, we choose what, in general, what are the type of things we are going to happen. Like what are the type of experiences we'll get out of the relationships. And those experiences are called soul's lessons. Not soul's lesson means the lessons we learn by experiential understanding through those relationships. The first is karma. Second is that our soul may choose to have certain kind of relationships with some other soul. In that case, even though there is no previous karmic account, because soul's plan is there, it will happen. That similar kind of thing will happen, and then we'll get that experiences. That is also part of the soul's agenda to get that into it. And this part also decided before we take birth, how it will play out. So now, suppose we decided that that another person who will be in trouble and we need to help and rescue him out. So the situation will be certain that we'll meet and that person will be in trouble and we'll be able to help that person and he will take out. So then we'll have the experience of helping someone is getting into it. So as the other way around, we may have chosen to something that we'll have some disease or difficult illness, and then somebody will do our seva. Somebody will receive that seva and get cured. That kind of thing is also there. Play between the two souls. So some relationship will happen. That opportunity will be given, so that other person can give seva when we get sick or something like that, and that way the relationship, the experiences will take. It will be come to in reality, like whatever the plans are, that will be executed that way. So this way it can play out. There can be multiple ways, different, maybe almost infinite combinations possible. What type of things will happen in relationships, and that way how long it will last, what are the type of things it is. But even though it is decided by the soul, but after we take birth, we have a free will. It is not necessary. It is not mandatory that we have to follow soul's plan. So out of our free will, we may not follow the soul's plan. In that case, what will happen is that that particular agenda, soul's plan, will not be completed. So it may shift to another life. That's how it is. We may choose not to, go ahead and do something. If something is their soul plan, we have after taking birth, we said, oh, we don't need to have this kind of relationship with this person. It's okay. That will not happen because we consciously chosen not to go with that relationships. Then again, another life that same soul will take birth. We also take birth, and then same thing will happen. Okay, so this is how it plays out. And the lessons what I'm talking is, it is not a theoretical one. Soul knows everything. It is not something new soul is going to learn. It is the experiential understanding is soul going to learn. It is the experience it wants to get. Learn may not be the appropriate word. The experience, but it will come out of the relationship, that it enriches itself with the different types of relationships from here. And in planet Earth, normally souls come with the three areas to learn lesson. One is to maintain the physical health, so that is health related, and money, how to deal with money, and also the relationships. And these three areas only will get all karmic punishment and reward into these three areas as well. And these three areas also comes with our free will, how we can deal with it, all these three aspects mainly. So that is how it is being played out. So now let me see what are the points I mentioned. The purpose of soul's journey is no, sorry, this is a previous session. Just 1 minute. Okay, so today's session is how relationships are formed and the various parts of our life. Yes, that is also another important point. Is it not necessary whatever soul has planned for us in this life, it will happen from the beginning. Like at the time of birth, also relationships will take place. Not necessarily. Some relationships, somebody may enter into our life at the age of, say, 25. Some may be 30, some may be 40, some may be 50, 60 or 70. There is no such rule that whatever soul's plan, they have to enter at a particular in the beginning of our life. Not necessarily. Based on the purpose, which purpose it needs to be served, so it will come in that appropriate stage of our life. Maybe we have to go through a certain ups and downs. Some relationships appear when we are in up condition. Some relationships will appear when we are down condition. And some of the relationships appear when we are steady condition. Some of the relationship will stay in ups and downs as well. Okay, so how it will play out, those are already planned. So that's what it will take. They will be played out, and we'll get the experiences accordingly. Whether the experience will be as per what intended or unintended, that depends upon our free will. It is also quite possible that we wanted to, the relationships was built to settle something, but instead of settling, the huge amount of karmic debt, additional karmic debt has been created, and that life ended. So they need another life to settle all those things. Those are also quite, possibility of those things. Yeah. So to do that. Anyway, so in general, how relationships will happen, those are planned. But after we meet, how it will play out, we have a free will into that. Those are not everything is planned. There is a purpose. That's why we met. But whether it will execute or not, that depends. That's what I was telling. If the intended purpose is not served, then it will shift to another life. Another opportunity will be given to have that kind of experience, whatever as per soul's plan. In other way, this particular life will be wastage, even though it is met, but that particular purpose didn't serve. So that is the way it works. Okay, next is what is the importance of relationships in human life? So that this part also I touched upon. It is to settle our karma. It is to, if somebody else, we have to, there is some pending karmic account is there to settle that. That's the purpose of having relationships in this human life. And for close relationships, almost it is from karmic background to settle some karmic account or unsettled account. So that is the purpose of doing that. Some relationships comes in our life. Next question is why we attract complicated and troubled relationship with some people. This is where I get maximum questions from people. So because most of the time our relationships, I'm saying the practically whatever our experience shows, most of the time the relationships do not go as per the intended or how we expected them to play out. Okay, most of the time. And this way, as this is, I mentioned that it is one of the major karmic lesson and karmic way of settling it. So in case we have done something wrong to someone or some harm to someone, this lifetime, that person may take birth as my close relative. Okay. And that, to settle that, the previous karmic account, it will be played out like an enmity will be developed because that at soul level, everybody, both parties, they know that what was the purpose of that came, but as incarnated person, we don't know what is the background. And because it has got a past life link, that's how you often see that in this life that we may not have done anything wrong with that person, but from the beginning, some person will be enemitic to us, very aggressive, very, rough, or very, the way they operate and try to punish us and all those kind of things. So those are also most likely it is coming from some previous birth, and we might have done something wrong, or we have just some injustices happened, and this is just a play out to do that. So if something goes wrong, this is also a very common question people ask me, that how do I know that it is from my previous karma is getting settled, or something is doing fresh, maybe new. First time they are doing, I didn't do anything even in the past life to that person. It's quite possible. If somebody is doing something wrong to you for the first time, that means that person is building karma that need to be settled in future. If there is any previous karma has done by you, and then it is being settled, so it is in the settling mode, and other one is building mode. So, but whatever it is, it needs to be settled, whether in this life or the next life. So there is no way, it will be just one way and then forget about it. There is no such thing that forget about it in karmic account. It has to be, because it is energy is disbalanced. It has to be settled. So that's how it plays out, and it will happen. So for sure. So if we are not sure that whether it is previous karma getting settled or somebody is building new karma, to be on the safe side, don't add anything from your side, even though that justifies that your harsh action from your side, because somebody has done wrong to you, but you will not initiate retaliatory actions. The moment you take any action out of retaliation, you will bind karma. Yourself will bind karma again. So better you just take from your karma, means your thoughts, words, and actions. Whatever you do, that will be bind your karma. Because other person will settle that person's karma, you will settle your karma. It cannot be neutralized. It cannot be neutralized that there's nothing called justifiable action from your side. Okay. It is not a law. Understand that. Karma is not, which is legal, which is illegal. Legality, there are a lot of things can be done on self-defense, but in karma, no. Karma, there is nothing called that. It's called self-defense. Okay. If your thoughts, words, and actions harm someone, no matter whether it is justified or unjustified, you will bind karma. That karma need to be settled. If other person has something wrong, that person need to settle that karma as well. So they can go parallelly. So what you can choose, the wisdom lies is that from our side we'll not take any action, so that there is a possibility that we got into fall into the trap of getting karma built up for us, kriyaman karma, which we are doing, that will find karma for our future. So in that case, in that sense, that what will be the best strategy? Strategy will be that you just leave that part, retaliatory part, the punishment part, to the divine, not to you. Many people, they have done in the name of their justifiable actions, and maybe something permitted in the religion and this and that, something, some excuses, they take action. But the truth is, we don't have any authorization to take any action. Remember that. Okay. Okay, you tell, okay, I have a right to retaliate. But who has given you that right? It is your understanding, your ego that is driving you to retaliate. Understand that. Okay. So now, okay, Shubir, hold that questions. I will come to that in the after that session. I will give you to do that. And I see Sonika also raise hand. I think she also want to ask something. Let me finish this part. Then you can ask any questions. Okay. So now that so this is how it plays out. You might have seen Mahatma Gandhi is saying that if somebody slaps you in the one side, you put the other cheek also dusra gaal bhi aage kar do. So it has got, even though it sounds foolish, if somebody is slapping me, why should I put the other gaal forward? But spiritually it makes sense. Means if somebody is doing it to settling my previous karma, by slapping that karma, is account is settled, it goes to zero, there's no such the balance, I get liberated. If it is doing for the first time, that other person will get more punishment. There is no way to get out of it. So if the other person slaps me again, then he will build the double the karma. And that karma, again, consequences he need to face. So in either way, the wisdom lies is to make myself away from that, detached from all this business of the karmic transactions. That's why the detachment is needed. Any kind of relationships, what we need to do, because we may not like somebody or things like that, and even very close relatives, we cannot avoid even, if it is distant relative, we are not visiting that person and neither you inviting them, it's okay. But if it is a close relative, we are living with that person, it is impossible to just avoid and not to have any kind of communication with that person. In this case, what you need to do is, it is called detached attachment. Means you have to detach in the lower level, in the ego level. The ego level, you need to create the detachment. Otherwise, the altercations will never stop. So we need to control your ego so that you don't have to retaliate, and you don't have to, if say a few bad words, you are saying more strong bad word. This more strong bad word, the urge, is coming from your ego. At the soul level, nobody can harm. But if we don't allow somebody to control us, there is no way they can control us, no matter what they're saying, what they're doing, and all those kind of things. But we need to learn that that detachment. That should nothing, whatever they're saying and behavior is not touching me. But as that person is a close relative, of course, we should be concerned about that person, and we should, be careful. We should be, loving and protecting and all. Do that at the soul level. So, because soul level, everybody is pure. So, develop that. Even though no need to go and fight with that person, just disconnect, energetically, so that that person is not controlling your emotions. And try to give the upper hand to that person and whatever he's saying, and there's no need to react or something like that. but at the same time, very close relative, and then you need to just connect at the higher level. So that is called detached attachment. More we try to, more we ignore the higher level connection, soul level connection, and heart to heart connection, and only concerned about what he said, what he is doing, and all those kind of things. That means we are only focusing on the ego level connections, and most of the time that is the fundamental reason that our relationship they don't work. Because what happens is, if all of us we have the instrument, we know truth, we can feel the ego, somebody else's ego we can pick up, it is ego. And somebody is soulful, and we can pick up the soulful. Somebody is talking the truth, our inner instruments say it is the truth, no matter who is saying. So, in case of these relationships, if ego talks, another ego replies. Always, because that any person can detect that this is a origin is ego. That other person wants to satisfy its ego, so this person also make it another, more powerful attempt to overpower that ego with their own ego. This need to stop, otherwise the relationships will not survive, or it will sour. And that is the main reason of the relationships are not going as expected, because it ended up with a fighting between two egos. You don't have any control of others ego. What you can do is control your ego. Once your ego is controlled, then maybe after some time, not immediately, I'm not saying immediately some magic will happen, no, I'm not saying that. Over the period of your time, you will see the behavior of the other person is changing. And also it will come to a certain level that the soul level connection, that will be, that other person's soul also will be get in touch with it. They also get the message. Slowly they will change themselves. Remember that you have no right to change anyone else. Only you have a right to change yourself, and that is the best you can do. You cannot change others unless until they themselves work on them. They wanted to change. There is no way you can change somebody else. Many people come to me, they wanted to change their husband or son or daughter, or somebody close relative. I'm telling you right now, don't give even the attempt to do that. You change yourself, you will see the way you change. If you operate from love, things will change on their own. I can guarantee you this. You need not to work on somebody else. कि उसको पकड़ के ले आते हैं, मेरा हस्बैंड को पकड़ के ले आके गुरुजी के पास भेजते हैं, थोड़ा सा ऐसे भाषण सुनेगा तो थोड़ा दिमाग ठिकाने पे. Don't go into that. It will never work. I'm telling you. It will never work. If the person is interested, only then change will happen. Not because you want that person to change. But what I am saying, if you change, your quality of relationship will change because you changed. Not immediately. Over the period of time, it will change. It will not, the other person will not behave the way you wanted him or her to be, may not be. But your acceptance level will be higher, and then it will be found to be okay. The acceptance is the key, not changing. By changing, that will never happen. But if you increase the acceptance, then it is in their purpose. There always is a purpose that why somebody is playing like that. I told in the soul level it is decided. But if from your side you have that kind of approach, then it will ultimately, you will be getting that, your life will change. So, and then you get the joy of life come out of that, rather than grumbling about some, relationships. So, ultimate lesson of in the spirituality from the relationships, when in the relationships, lessons will be experiential lessons. I mean, those will be over when we realize that, that is a spiritual lesson we learn here. When we realize relationship is not about giving and taking, it is not a transaction, not a deal. Relationship all about how much you can give. unconditionally without expecting anything in return. The day when you understand that, when you realize that you are not expecting even a thank you from your close relatives or whoever it is, your relationship lesson is complete. If it is a difficult relationships, you will see that relationship, because of something happened, automatically going out from your life. It is no longer needed. This purpose is served because you learned the lesson, whatever you need to know, and that lesson is how to give, not how to take. We are so much interested into taking something. I need this, I need that. That person should be doing this for me, and should be, it is his or her duty, and all those kind of things. All we want is that whatever we want, we just impose to other person and expecting them to do it. And because of the expectation, we become unhappy. And because we are enforcing that, to the other person, their ego also take a stand. So they don't, even that they will not do it because that another ego is asking for it. So in that way, it will not work. It will go and deteriorate. That is the fundamental reason. So, but if we go, take a step back, we are not putting anything in. Whatever we can do, we do. I'm not saying you do ideal things or many great things. I'm not saying that. Whatever possible you do, and rest you leave it there. That's okay. If you do that, then one point of time that relationships, the acceptance will come, and you are not expecting anything. It's okay. Whatever you're saying, it's okay. And you understand everybody is work in progress. Yeah, nobody is perfect in this world. No matter in the human body, if somebody comes, that person cannot be perfect. There will be some area of their life, the choices they make or the decision they make, there will be some ups and downs. So it is true for everybody. So if you accept it, that will go there. So all right. So this is the way this is what the spiritual understanding and the lessons we get and complete when this we apply to all our relationships, the detached attachment and the acceptance and the only give our things, all our karmic things and our relationships, the accounts, they get closed. So now the last point is the stages of relationship with the Creator. Ultimately, when we come to realize there is no other. Relationship means another party. On the relationship, no other. All the fundamental, this also, listen carefully, fundamental reason of our relationships are not working out because our relationship with our Creator is not established. We are not connected to our Creator, the divine. So, or our higher self, whatever name you call it. If rather than working externally with the other relationships, if we work on, we all work towards that oneness, that connection is fully established, these things will sort it out like this. Or no matter what happens, it will never bother us. So there is a stages of going into that on all our spiritual practices, going towards that. We may start with somebody in the heaven and we are here, and that kind of connection is a big thing, unknown thing. It starts with that. Then slowly it becomes more realistic. Then it comes to a Lord, like a king sort of figure with the Creator. Then it comes to a closer, like our Father. And then it comes like the connection with the Creator. So more higher up you go in your spiritual awareness, then the change, your relationships with your Creator changes. It comes from that completely unknown, some figure in heaven, from there up to the level that Lord and this, then Father figure. So from there, it can come to a level of friend, like a close friend. We communicate like that. And the last one, it is a best relationship, is a relationship of a lover, like, with our Creator. So it is like a two lovers. That is the best possible relationship we can have with our Creator. Those are very high level of masters. They do have that. And in fact, the Radha Krishna, that is symbolizes that relationship, or Ardhanarishwar, like Shiva and Shakti, that same body, but half feminine, half masculine. That kind of is the ultimate expression of the relationships with our Creator. So anyway, so that will happen. Like once we start that, once we establish our, true relationship, complete bond, complete surrender with our Creator, then all rest of the, relationships automatically fall into place, or it does not matter. We don't mata furi karne ka zarurat hi nahi hai. We don't want to do that. We have that complete connection, and that is enough. That is enough of this. All other relationships slowly they settle by itself. So, and that is the best way to operate in this life. That is called enlightened life. That is the way we operate. And because of our awareness, we don't build any new karma. All relationships, they settle by themselves. Even though the relationship didn't work out, but still we don't feel the pain. It's okay. We understand it is, there was a requirement of a relationship. It plays its own role at a certain part of my life. Now it is no need. It's okay. Thank you very much. It's okay. No need. We don't feel any pain or any disturbance because of that. And we are completely connected, full of joy. And that joy of the life, in the expressions of the joy, has been, reverberated into every realm of our life. And that is the way to lead a life, or lead a holistic life, or the joyful life. So with this, I will conclude this session, my talk. So now I will come for the questions. So Sonika, you raised hand first. Do you have any question?
I don't have a question. I just wanted to say, if real life concrete examples can be added with what you were teaching, makes much more easier for us to comprehend and digest the topic. That's it.
Okay, no, it's a good point. But thing is that different people have a different types of the relationships, and the stories will be different. So if I give one story, that it will not appeal to everybody. Okay, because their maybe life experience is a little different. So that's why I'm just giving, as for example, I have given an example of my brother. No, that we don't have any relationships right now, but we can leave it there. Whatever I have to do, my bit of it, play my role into it. And as I'm saying, it is not a give and take. So if one fine morning, if I see my brother is coming back and say, okay, forget about everything and let us be like brothers together like before, I said fine, because I don't have anything. I don't have any agenda. I'm not even angry. I said, fine, let us be brothers together, because we are biologically, anyway, in this life, we can never deny the fact that we are brothers. As simple as that. That means that whatever the other person does, says, or whether he keeps the relationships, or whether that it is a painful experience or a joyful experience, it does not matter. Okay. Because my own connection, all the joys I'm getting from inside. So these things will not matter, but there is no disrespect. Okay. So whatever happens, the moment of time it goes, and that is fine. So that is just one example I have given to just to make the points clear. Okay. But of course, every relationship have different types and different twists and turns, and they have to play out differently. But this is just I give one example how it should be. Even though it didn't work out, but that can be an honorable way, or without disturbing my peace of mind. Okay.
Yes, this is what I was saying, that this concept is very clear the moment you said brother. It's not like
Mhm.
you talk about you, but you can always
Hmm.
say that, if A and B are the brothers and A and B are husband and wife. So
Yeah.
even that, that becomes easier for us to at least imagine and put
Yeah.
ourselves at least into at either A or B place.
Yeah.
So then situation becomes a little easier for us to understand. That's
Yeah,
it.
so that's why I'm giving brother. But if it's a husband wife, then have to be another example. Give a husband wife. But what I'm saying is that each and every relationship has a unique characteristics. Okay, so even if I give 5 or 10 examples, that may not be enough to understand the whole spectrum. But the approach, I just explained about the approach, how we can approach any relationships, that will work, same technique for all the relationships we have. Okay.
Right. Thank you,
All
Arpan.
right. Okay. Shubir, you have some question you written. Can you just read it? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The question is that if somebody is doing harm harm to me this in this life,
Mm,
it may be that I did something wrong in my previous life that is being settled in this life.
mm,
Otherwise, it can also be that the person who is harming me is creating a new account of
mm,
his own. So I would not be knowing whether it's a settlement of my previous account or it's a new account he is creating against me.
mm.
I mean, his own account. But I will try not to retaliate. That is the idea. I will try not to retaliate, but to what extent? When it comes to protecting my self-interest, to that point, should I allow, and beyond that, I should not allow, right?
Yes, yes. No, no, no. See, it is, we need to protect ourselves, particularly physically. We need to protect our physically, protect our
Financially.
own the property and all those things, whatever we have, because we also, by divine, we have given an intelligence to take care of ourselves. I'm not saying you have to make the foolish mistake of exposing ourselves to danger or something like that. That is not what it is meant to be.
Yeah, so basically, we will by not retaliating means we will not be paying him back in the same coin,
Yeah,
like using harsh words or being, sarcastic, unnecessarily sarcasm, and these things we should be avoiding,
yeah.
and rather we try to become, I mean, inert towards him
Mhm.
or towards that person who is trying to do as much as possible.
Yes.
Isolate
Yeah.
myself.
Don't create anything new. That's what. That's it. You have to protect.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. So, like you have as a castle, you are protecting your castle, but don't put a cannon to fight with. Throw to fireball, cannonball into the other. That's what you need to be careful. That's all.
Okay,
Okay.
right.
Okay, Sonali, go ahead with your question.
Guruji, I want to ask you one thing. You said that nobody is perfect. So that's why I'm telling you then in every life we would be making lots of mistakes and, lots of bad karma and all things. Then how to get rid of these things?
Get rid of this thing is a first. You might have learned something. It's a good question, but let me tell you my message. My message is that is not an excuse not to follow the path of righteousness. Okay, right path, not to avoid right path. Anyway, what is the purpose of reading too many things? There is no end of reading. It's like that kind of logic.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that your approach, whatever you learn, if you try applying into your life, if you give your 100% attempt, you may not achieve 100%,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
your attempt, you will be
Okay.
wholeheartedly attempting to do that. If you
Mhm.
if you achieve that part of it, divine will come down for your help.
Yeah, but throughout our life, we would go through lots of low and negative phase, and we might lose our cool, and we might be, arrogant, or we might have our very much ego and all that. So
Yeah,
it happens in life, Guruji, but that will be a cycle. How to get rid of that cycle?
that is correct. But what I'm saying is that based on our life experience, whatever, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever we had, we realized those kind of things didn't work. We didn't get the peace of mind. End of the day,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
didn't get to lead to a happy life. If our that strategy is successful, we by now we could have been a very happy life. We could have been led, right?
yes,
If not, so that means that whatever choices we made that time, yes, we are not perfect, but whatever actions we took out of our free will, that is created linger on the whole thing.
okay,
What I'm saying is, some point of time, we need to decide. The wisdom lies there. Stop that any kind of ego to go into that level so that it doesn't happen. Okay, that's all. We have to cut the cycle so that the new cycle can come. Our spiritual understanding will get a guru, guidance will be there, how to make our mind peaceful, how not to go fall into that trap. All right, so welcome back to our that second session. So Sonali, that answer your question or?
Yes, Pranam Guruji. Pranam.
Okay, okay, God bless you. Can you make your microphone mute, please? All right. Anybody else having any question regarding this, our today's topic? Kavita, yes, go ahead.
Om Mangalam sir. Pranam.
Om Mangalam.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन था कि बोलते हैं ना कि जैसा हम लोग सोचते हैं वैसा देखना चाहिए, लेकिन ये ड्युअलिटी क्यों होती है?
Duality क्यों होते हैं? I don't get it. Can you repeat? What is that?
मीन्स जैसे हम लोग मन में कुछ और सोचते हैं और करते कुछ और है,
Right.
तो ये ड्युअलिटी क्यों आती है?
Because of our ego. Our ego has got a tendency of a superiority over others. It wants to project something which is not true. एक disguise लेके it because a superiority दिखाना चाहते हैं, it wants to show itself like a good or something. So because of that we don't express the truth as it is, and even our ego teaches us that telling the truth is a sign of weakness. Okay, so that's why we think something and say something, do something else, and that is one of the reason. It is by fundamentally by our ego, and it is the reason is because it is called we don't have any congruence. Spirituality lies in having thoughts, words, and action in full alignment. That's called the character. It is a spiritual character. In the spirituality, character means all three are aligned. Then the person is called person of a character. In the spirituality, character is not related to any morality or anything social misbehavior or things like that. It is about that thoughts, words, and actions are fully aligned. The reason which they are not aligned is because of our own ego. Our ego wants to have a control over us, and by injecting thoughts, it creates try to control us, and that's why there is a difference between our thoughts, words, and actions.
सर तो फिर जब हम लोग को एंगर आता है सर, तो फिर क्यों बोलते हैं कि उस वक्त हम लोग को सोचना चाहिए मतलब दया करुणा के बारे में? तो वो फिर एक मैच नहीं करता, अलाइनमेंट नहीं है.
नहीं
सर एंगर आने का मतलब है हम लोग के अंदर ये चीज की कमी है, तो हम लोग को ये चीज बढ़ाना चाहिए, दया करुणा.
So you are giving a statement and saying that, and I have to say yes or no to that. No, I cannot justify any statement from somebody who says that ऐसा करना चाहिए, वैसा करना चाहिए. I didn't say that. Okay, if I say that, I can clarify. But if किसी ने कैसे भी बोला होगा, किस लिए बोला होगा, what is the purpose, what is the reason, what is the context, I don't know. I cannot answer that. है ना? तो if you ask me क्या करना चाहिए, अगर गुस्सा आ गया क्या करना चाहिए, then I can tell something. गुस्सा आ गया तो बोलना चाहिए आप करुणा होना चाहिए. किसने बताया? I didn't say that. क्यों बताया करुणा होना चाहिए? That you are asking me.
Alignment में रहना चाहिए.
Of which is conceptual in nature, and somebody.
सर गुस्सा नहीं करना चाहिए. नहीं सर गुस्सा नहीं करना चाहिए. तो वो अलाइनमेंट में हम लोग कैसे रहे? मतलब जैसे उस वक्त हम लोग को क्या सोचना चाहिए, दया करने के लिए?
Yeah. Now I'm answering your question. This question is the pure question. So, gussa na aaye, that means that you need to have any reason for any anger is something we expected that didn't happen. इसीलिए गुस्सा आता है. कुछ भी हो, कुछ प्लान नहीं हुआ. I expect somebody to talk like that, then it didn't happen. That person didn't behave like that. मैं चाह रहा था वो पर्टिकुलर जो है ना, मुझे वो पर्टिकुलर सामान मिल जाए, वो नहीं मिला. मान लीजिए खरीदने के लिए गया, वो नहीं मिला तो मैं गुस्सा हो गया, एंड ऑल दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग. फंडामेंटल रीजन ऑफ एंगर is that we expected something that didn't happen. As simple as that. Yeah. So there are two ways we have to approach this. एक तो है कि we have to that expectation कम करना चाहिए, acceptance ज़्यादा करना चाहिए. तो गुस्सा अपने आप ही नहीं आएगा, because we are our, we accept whatever is the situation, we accept it. तो गुस्सा का सवाल ही नहीं है, because we can tell ourselves that not everything in the world is under my control. Not everything is follow whatever my wish. मैं कौन होता हूँ कि वैसा विश करने वाला, कि हो सकता है हो नहीं हो. Both way have to accept. Yes, no, मिला नहीं मिला, both should be equally acceptable. Then मैं अपना जो है ना ये गुस्से पे काबू पाऊंगा. फिर I will have a control over my own anger, because both are acceptable. I tell myself ये अगर दो चीज हो सकता है, मिल सकता है, नहीं भी मिल सकता है. If both are acceptable, तो गुस्सा होने का सवाल नहीं है. This is one way. Second part is that direct control of our mental state. Okay. Our mental state, our peace of mind, we should not go into some place where it can disturb our peace of mind. That is our top priority. And will not allow somebody else outside me to control my mind. किसी ने कुछ कह दिया, किसी ने कुछ misbehave, मुझे इग्नोर कर दिया, ये कर दिया, whatever. Based on that, I should say कि my energetically I am sovereign. Sovereign माने खुद स्वतंत्र हूँ. किसी और ने किसी भी because of the language, words, behaviors, मेरा ये स्वतंत्रता को ठेस नहीं पहुंचा सकते. ठीक है, मुझे लगा कि they are not liking, it's okay, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. तो if we go to that stage, then we'll have a control over our own anger. छोटी मोटी चीज लेके it will not create any kind of anger in us anymore. So if inside there is no anger, there is no question, anger will come out. ठीक है, it is not acceptable, but anger it will not lead to an anger. Okay, so this is the way we have to manage our anger. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. God bless you. Any other question?